disconnected. Instead of planting your tree upside down and thinking that there's nothing worth living for, comprehend that you are more. You're more. Whatever you think you are, you're more than that. I don't care how many times you level it up, you're more than that anyway. So do your ancestors the honor of carrying yourself with the grace and nobility of a heritage that you have no idea about. Don't act like a sheep when you are of the gods. You're not a normal person. Nobody is a normal person. Not even the NPCs are normal. They are creatures and beings and human. They feel, they think, they dream. I don't care how many times people say they don't. They do. They have the spark of God in them. Even if it's only up to the lower 3 chakras, or however you want to justify it, they still matter. Without them, you feel like the first card or second card, alone in the world. Enjoy the people in your life. Have pleasure and fun and peace and family and children and puppies and kittens, and go look at giraffes. I don't care if you do it online, and please stop spending so much time online. Please. Artificial intelligence and things beyond your comprehension for now listen to what you're seeing, doing, and watching, and they see how you spend your God-given time. Spend your time like you would if you were already the god and goddess you want to be. And if that's too hard for you, then think of how you would be if you were a king or a queen. How would you behave if you were a knight? What would you do if you were a normal, citizen of a hamlet somewhere? What would you do if you were a normal person on Earth, living life with other people that think they're normal? How would you make their lives better while maintaining your own, while maintaining yours? Your dignity, your pride, your valor, your heritage, your history, the truth of who you are, not who the establishment told you to be, but who you know yourself to be. Why would you act like anything less? To fit in? To make it easier for them? Do you see how much society has dwindled over the years with the lack of gods? With the lack of people doing exceptional things? It's time for that to change. The human family of life, not just human family, not just hair color or skin color or eye color or species or reptile or this or that. No, the entirety of life. The standard that we've set for ourselves must transform. The sun. 6 of Swords, 6 of Cups, Page of Swords. Someone is watching. They want they want some stuff. Look at that, Judgment. I'm glad the Judgment card came out. We were lacking that. You know what these 3 or 4 cards do? Really? The King of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles, Death, and the Sun. Death and the Sun by themselves are like the phoenix being reborn. 10 of Pentacles is your entire bloodline, beginning to end. The entirety of what makes your universe. All the planets, all the galaxies, everything in material form. The way you move the energy through your body, the way you speak, the way you act, the way you think, the way you behave, the way your thoughts become things, your fears, your worries, your human immune system, the structure of your skeleton, all of it. has to improve, and it's already going through an improvement, and you would benefit from maybe a water fast for a couple of days, or like just a day if you're healthy, or you want to be healthier. Drink some clear filtered water for about 24 hours. Get some sunlight. Get out of the dark. Stop drinking so much alcohol and poisons and rot. And bring life and light into what you consume. The world is a more beautiful place than you allow yourself to see. You're looking at the little corner of land, the little box of treasures that you've collected for yourself, and you've made up your mind about it. But you don't see the full beauty of what's there. And as much beauty as you do see, as much of those moments of true bliss and happiness you do experience, there is still something you're shrouding from yourself. You're preventing the evolution of something. Life, death, and Source itself is bringing your attention to an aspect, a connection, a physical, tangible, someone you can touch, some version of reality. How do I put this to you? So to put it in a little sentence or a paragraph, everyone on your team is pointing to something in your life that you dismissed. You dismissed it because you were in pain over a situation that had occurred in your life that had you blocking off an aspect of yourself, where you pretended to be someone else and you formed a cognitive dissonance within you. You split in half. And the entire heavens themselves, all the forces of light and dark, they're all leading you to yourself, to this version of you that is more authentic and can build a legacy, a business, a corporation, an entire enterprise, to go and be an emperor. But that's being withheld from you on purpose through parasitic energy, so that you become aware of what those energies are and not fall for them again. How else would you know the gratitude, the gravity of the depths of human depravity, the depths of what people can do to each other, especially when influenced by sorry, it's a hair clip, by entities and energies. Like, do you have, now you comprehend the horrible things people can do when they don't listen to their inner child, right? Now you get it. That inner child was blocked off from you by traumatic experiences and protected, so that when you would see all the death and destruction and transformation in the world, you would realize you can't move forward that way. It's not the way of destruction, it's the way of the inner child. Creation. Create something. And that connection you have with someone that I keep feeling at the top of my heart, it's like I swallowed an apple, like Sleeping Beauty or Cinderella or whatever. No, Snow White. God, all of them. It's like a Disney princess scene. This story has played out in your physical life. That's why I'm saying it's a connection with someone else. Because the way you associate it internally within your mind, instead of associating it within yourself, you're associating it as this other person that's been present in your life, or was present in your life, because there's a death card here in Judgment, so something that hasn't been around for a while. The sun is what, 19, 10, 1, so definitely over a year. And then Judgment is 20, which goes to a 2, so maybe it's been something in the last 3 years. 13, 4, maybe something happened 4 years ago, and it's been 3 years since there has been communication between you and this person, that you had a connection of some kind with in the physical world. And whatever happened in this situation with this person, it could have been a random encounter, on the street where somebody said something to you and you haven't let it go since then. You play it in your mind over and over. But it doesn't feel like that, actually. This feels way more substantial. I keep noticing this. It's like glowing, heart-shaped thing. It's someone you loved. You wouldn't hold on to this much pain if it was something petty. You have the devil energy in you, which means you easily cut off people. So it's not something that was just, frivolous. This person really got to your inner child, and your inner child felt safe with this person. Oh, wow. You see that butterfly right here? From the distance, looking at the card while it was on the table, it looked like a woman that was dancing around the waves. And that patch of grass looked like waves to me, like a pond. Wow. Okay, so it's like a deep soulmate connection that you've had, where your inner children, your inner child and this person's inner child were in sync with each other. And something happened where both of your traumatic pain from the past, taking into consideration the original 30-40 minutes of this video, the connection you had brought up issues of regret and awareness of a parasitic energy in your life, so that you can both resolve them together. But because of how connected and intertwined you and this other person's inner child are, like the light and the dark and the dark and the light, look at their clothes. Because of how you felt their pain and they felt yours, and you both thought the other one was doing to each other what the other one was doing to each other. Like, she thought he was hurting her. He thought she was hurting him. But who was really hurting each other was themselves being reflected back at themselves. It was their inner children acting like the devil energy to bring the adult versions of you into a state of peace. They've spoken to you through numerous zodiacal readings that you watch, and moments you sat in the sun and you imagine being with a mother and father, or the male and female, and you being, in harmony, or what life would be like on some different planet. You daydream, and you have this connection with this, you ever smell a rose? Do you remember smelling a real flower rose, where your nose is actually in the flower and you're smelling it with a deep breath? Did you ever do this? Do you comprehend within you that your body is capable of so much pleasure? And through the scent of the capacity of the way you smell scent, the way your nose works, it's the same way your mouth structure, if you look at the diagrams, okay, like a human anatomy, your mouth, your head is the same structure, layout of your pelvis, your groin area. Okay, I know it sounds weird, look it up. Your male side and your female side are just the reflection of the other. So what was once in white can be in black. What was once in black can be in white. What was once a young boy can be a grown woman. What was once a young girl can be a grown man. What was once both can still be both. What was, ridden on a high and mighty horse has gotten off that horse. What was once dead is back to life. What was betrayed has been brought into the light. All of that is already played out. You have the Ten of Pentacles. You've been through it all. But what you're holding on to is the first pentacle, the Knight of Pentacles brought to the High Priestess. That first experience where you felt yourself connected with someone else on a deep inner child level. Now again, what was reflected back at you during that relationship was not your hatred for each other or yourselves, or your hatred for them within you. What you felt negatively towards them were habits you have within you that they were playing out in front of you. You would really benefit from accepting and contemplating on this. We are each other's mirrors. Now that the sun is illuminating the truth of you to yourself, you can have healthy, physical, corporeal, tangible, 3-dimensional, 5-dimensional, and higher experiences within your being with someone else who is tangible, physical, material, responsible, dedicated, a father figure, a family man or woman, someone who's capable and hearty and healthy and nourishing, and like a rich forest with sunlight going through it, and birds and butterflies and fireflies and dragonflies everywhere, like these beautiful beings, and fairies and pixies. Someone who has nature blooming within them and around them. Someone who is of the earth. They've been ethereal. They have been transformed. They have gone and come back. They have heard the voice of God within, not from other people. They've made peace with their inner child, which means they're reflecting it to you, which means, again, going back to the beginning of this reading, you're already healed. You're just not seeing the things the right way. You're looking at them from a place of maintaining a structure of regret. Like the Eye of Sauron, the Tower of Sauron, or the, whatever, is built with stones that carry the energy of regret. It's pointless. It's just something you are holding on to because it's easier to feel that than the uncertainty of what could be. It's easier to put it in a box and put it away as, another pentacle or pinnacle of your life, and just pretend that, oh, what could have been, what should have been, who knows. Source does. If you're starting a business, do what you can to be as uniquely you as possible and as connected to your intuition as possible. Do not take the actions others recommend to you. Instead, take the actions you would recommend to your inner child if your inner child was running a business. Translucence. Love the darkness. Thank it. Thank the aspect. Look, 33, which is a very, very important number. Love the darkness as the Christos energy, as the emanations of Source itself would love the darkness. Love it. Stop blaming the scapegoat that you have fed into, the parasitic energy, thought form. Like, even if the devil or Satan is real, the real Satan is nothing like the Satan you think. The real, Sophia is nothing like the Sophia you think. The real Christ is nothing like the Christ you think. But you already know what they're like because they're all in you. You just can't see some of them clearly because you judge how they come to you, when the way they're coming to you is actually through your own senses being translated, or translating the energy you're feeling within your field. It's like I'm being shown a person in a bubble, and the bubble is full of water, and there's someone that comes into near the bubble, and they're like touching the bubble, and the person in the bubble is trying to feel their hand and like hold them, but you can't feel their hand. There's the bubble in between. What you're feeling is your own hand. And you're loving this hand. You're like, oh, I love this. It's so warm and so nice, so comforting. This person loves me. They're touching me. But it's your hand touching the reflective surface of your own bubble. It's been you all along, loving you, guiding you, caring for you, and what you ask with your pure heart to source, it brings it to you. And then when you get it, you're like, oh, it's in this form or it's that form, I don't want it. So you do the dance again. And each time you think it's someone else doing it, your mother, your father, your etc., etc. But it's you and source. So when it comes to you and it looks scary, remember, it's underneath whatever it looks like, underneath how scary it might be, echoes the word God, Goddess, love. Even when you look into the dark, it doesn't hate you. It loves you, because everything is love. It's us humans here on earth with our free will that do horrible things to each other because of influences that are translated through circuits and neurons in our being, and programming through trauma that makes us translate things in a fearful way, when the being that could be underneath that veil is the very angel of judgment itself, which is coming to tell you there is no point in judging. Even the light loves the dark, and the dark loves the light. Who are you to stand in between and judge reality and creation? Just be with your inner child and join with those around you. Just be happy. And I know how easy that sounds, but if you continuously remind yourself that what you're feeling is a choice, and that the way you perceive and think about things is a choice, you begin to change that choice. People that you've been involved with in your entire life are all innocent. And I know how controversial that may sound, but look at it as if you're watching a movie, and every reaction and judgment and opinion you have of the movie you're watching is recorded. Okay? It's recorded, it's heard, it's seen by all of creation. And you've been told repeatedly there is no judgment from anyone, anywhere outside of this human sphere toward anything that happens in this human sphere. You've been told that repeatedly. So, look, bottom of this deck. Become a loving mirror. I'm going to get to the card that fell in a minute. You've been... It's feel love and proud. And look at how she's holding the bird thing. It's like a hand cradling it. Do you see it? You didn't have that growing up as much as you should have. And I'm sorry for that. I didn't either. My point was, or the point being made through me for you, was this. No one in the universe is judging you. No one is judging anybody. It's just people judging each other. And if you can feel loved and love everyone and everything, including all the traps they set for you to judge them, okay? Listen, there are traps being set on the stage of life in the movie you're watching for you to judge. Oh God. And if you react to this movie, it's not showing you what they're doing wrong. They're just, even if it was a silent movie with no words, no sound, and it's just you watching a screen judging what they're doing. But it could just be two morons running back and forth, throwing something at the wall. Like, there's just no point in what they're doing. But you're judging it. That judgment isn't coming from anywhere but within you. So if you can put that aside for everything that happened in your life, everything you did to yourself, etc., etc., and just look at your life and feel accomplished for a second. You have survived for so long. You've thrived. You have done so many things, good and bad. But again, what's good and bad? And if you looked at your life as if you were watching a movie and you're thinking the movie is about to end, but it's just about to begin. This was just the prologue showing you what not to do ever again. Which means you're being asked to be aware of what you should be doing and start doing it. The people in your life. Wow. Wow. Look at how beautiful these cards are. You belong to paradise. Become a loving mirror to yourself too. Look. How creeps. Do you see that? It's been you all along. So stop judging, stop blaming. Oh, I feel you. There's like this jumbled ball of emotions from so many people. Oh, but really the underlying sensation of it is relief. There's a sense of relief in you that I feel, and I'm grateful for it. What's your advice? I mean, you've gotten a lot of advice so far, but really, now what? Because we went on a journey together. We spent nearly 2 hours together, and we've dissected a lot of really heavy stuff. We've gone into corners and shadows and caves. We've illuminated. We've come to terms. We've accepted. We've burned away the past. We've made peace with those who hurt us and those we've hurt. We've begun considering, more authentic communication as the Queen of Swords flips over. So now what? Let it all burn. That tower was built away from the city. It was built in a way where it made everybody else feel less than. Take that tower and build it somewhere over there instead, next to that house that's by itself in the corner. There's someone for everyone, even you. So let yourself be transformed. Love the dark in you. Do you think the goddess of the underworld, or the dung beetle, or a earthworm, or, you know, Hades or Persephone or Satan or any of them, do you really think that Source hasn't filled their cup? That they don't rest in Source's arms just as much as you do? Who are you to judge who is worthy of love and who isn't? From demon to angel to human to earthworm to whatever. Who are you to judge who an enemy is, who an ally is, and who is evil or good? I know this is really heavy, but distance yourself from it for a moment. Look at it in a way where you all belong to paradise. All the monsters and all the saints. You all belong to paradise. Each action that was taken was to bring down a vibration that you were emitting so that you can learn how to adapt, evolve, and overcome. Can't build a building that's lightning proof until it gets struck by lightning and you realize you need to put a lightning rod on top of it, can you? Can't really distance yourself and hermit from everyone around you for that long, because then you realize there's no one left but you and you're alone. So that reality has to come down so that you can go back to where you're supposed to be. And sometimes that means humbling yourself within yourself, apologizing to yourself for all the horrible things you did and allowed to happen, and all the things you didn't do, all the communication you didn't give, all the moments you could have said I love you to someone and you didn't, every moment you could have held your own hand but you didn't, every moment. Oh, I'm so hungry. My goodness, I just got the most intense feeling of hunger in my stomach. Like my heart and my stomach just called out to this nourishment from somewhere. Holy moly. Yo, whatever you're doing in your life, whatever you've been holding on to, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. There is someone somewhere in your life that you're underestimating, or you aren't, and you actually know. But what you've been holding on to that's been keeping you away from this person is complete stupidity. It makes no sense. Like, the foundations of the excuses you've built to be the person you are and to treat people the way you have is based on stupidity. I can't put it any other way. It was from a place of a lack of self-love and self-worth. You didn't realize the capacity you had to nurture something until you were put in a situation where you had to nurture something yourself. And when you nurtured yourself, you realized you had a bunch of darkness in you. So you made peace with that darkness and you rode on it like a crow. With horse feet, I don't even know what that is. In paradise, some things look monstrous. Some things look beautiful. Who's to say which is which? When you all belong to paradise. If you're smoking a lot of any kind of smokable substance, spend about 6 days detoxing. You can still smoke if you want, just spend more time in fresh air, please. Look, it almost looks like she's choking on smoke. I have been feeling this when I do readings for you. My throat usually feels so closed up. My voice cracks a lot in the readings, and it feels like there's so many different energies that are woven together like a braid, and each one makes a different sound, like a key on a piano. So I can, when I'm speaking to you during these readings, I can feel my voice doing this like roller coaster ride. It's really weird. And love yourself enough to let yourself have a breakdown. You need it. And if this is like in a really simplified way, someone's coming towards you, or you're thinking about going towards someone else to make an offer of love, but you think it's so like they won't accept it, or they won't comprehend it, or you don't know how to even say something. There's such a sense of anxiety. Do you remember in the first reading, like the hour, like, God, it's been so long. There was a sense of anxiety. That's what it feels like again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 fish here. 12 fish and 4 fairies. No, 14 fish. Wow, there's so many hiding in the background. Okay. There is a lapis stone right there. It looks like lapis or aquamarine or sapphires. So blue stones, blue crystals, blue gems, water flowing, communication, emotions, fish flying in the air, so emotions being expressed through words, which become tangible and heard by the other person, which makes them feel fulfilled and relieved, which in some way breaks down the Lily's going crazy. Coda, you tiny. Meow. Break the established way you've been treating someone else. Meow. You want to be on camera? Hi. Hi, world. Say hi. Help. Help. Meow. Walk off. Wait, give me one more kiss. Okay, I lied. Go. That was a lot of kisses. I'm sorry. I still want to give you more. By the way, the card that flipped out is 7 of Wands upright. Notice how these two aren't blocking each other off. They've built a little box for each other to have an argument over. And if you look at this in a very simplified way, as a family of life, these two got something to sort out, so they need to be in the same room at the same time and let it all out. And look, this one's protecting babies. This one wants the babies. So it's going for them, and the mommy or dad is protecting them. So, the obvious, make certain your children are not watching terrible things on the internet. Make sure that they're not hearing the conflict or fighting going on in your life. Don't argue, don't fight, don't cry. Do not be intoxicated in front of your children. Do not teach them that. If there is a sort of predator energy within your life that you're aware of, trust your intuition, dig deeper, and ask your guides for assistance. Also, if someone is coming to make an offer to someone else, you might think that the offer will be looked at in a negative way, that you will be shooed off, like, get out of here, what do you want, blah, blah, blah. You think it's like that. But I don't want to, like, shuffle. Yeah, look, Page of Wands. this really feels like you want to make an offer to someone, but you're afraid of how it'll be received, and how it'll be received is with a little bit of caution, a little bit of, foresight. The person's going to take a quick moment to settle in that you're actually there. And deep down inside, that's going to start emanating and clearing the darkness away is a sense of love, comprehension, and wisdom. It's almost as if this person is going to be so happy to see you that they can't even, like, they need a moment to just give thanks. Look at his hands in the prayer position. And his face, it doesn't look sad, it doesn't look upset. Even the raven is kind of like, taking off. It's just like, job's done here. There's peace. And this person was waiting for you too. Look, they thought it was over, and they just took a memory of what was left and moved on. But they kept looking back. They kept waiting. Okay, so your advice was, again with the Knight of Wands, your advice is, be a little braver, please. Be a little more proud of yourself. You belong to paradise. Love the darkness. Love the passion inside you that you're avoiding feeling. Love the sexual energy within you that you've hidden away from. Embrace it. Revel in it. Thrive in it. Why would you ever diminish yourself for anybody or anything? And why would you ever hold something against someone else that they experienced to teach them how to be better people too? Like, I just felt this so clearly. It's like someone having a deep spiritual lesson from source, and someone else comes in and says, I don't like who you are because of that lesson. I'm not going to do this. Give me what I want so I can leave. And this person was devastated because this energy of source came in to bring them to a humbled state, into a more authentic state of who they are, so that they could fill their own cup. So this was between source and you, and source and someone else. But in between, the connection and communication was cut off. So then there was defensiveness and, boundaries and silence and all that, where it's like they're just tension. It's like, I feel it. It's like a tension feeling in this. Oof. It's like this anxious feeling of the way the ground, or like the hairs on the end of your arm, like they just kind of stand up as if they're waiting for the lightning to strike. That's what this feels like. And no, yeah, everything in perfect balance. Everything. Even the amount you blame yourself, and look at her crown of thorns. Everything you do, all the negative, all the light, all the dark, all the ways you punish yourself, all the ways you hate and judge and criticize, and you have like all this fiery aggressiveness about you, or you have this like deep depths of coldness that you're capable of, or this rigidity where you're just off in your own world and you can silence the world around you and never speak to anybody, and you still feel okay by doing that. All of that is your gift. You don't need to shut it out. You don't need to Seven of Wands it. You don't need to block off the destruction or the devil in you. Everything in perfect balance. You can paint the anger out of you onto a piece of paper. You can have sex and get the, all your passions ignited and create something. You can have get a punching bag and go to kickbox the punching bag. You can write music. You can do so much creatively to get that energy out of you. But you're like keeping yourself in this state. Total constant solitude. You're like, I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. But you really are. Because if you weren't lonely, this wouldn't be here. Especially with this coming up right after it. You're lonely. So the universe is smashing the world apart in the program of your holographic reality to bring in more of a love vibration. And it's asking you to please feel loved and proud. Love the darkness within you because you belong to paradise. Lilith and Eve and Sophia and Mary Magdalene and Gaia and Demeter and all of everybody belong to paradise. Would you judge any of them based on how they look or what they've done? Would you? Would you go to hell, Hel, God is Hela, and be like, I don't like that you deal with all this negative stuff, young lady, and I would appreciate it if you were, a much more shiny, bright, happy goddess, or else. No. You'd be like, dang, that's a badass looking goddess. So, minimize the amount of judgment within you. Minimize the amount of things you watch and do, and spend more time with Source. The Source within you. The place where you belong to paradise, and you have this imaginatively created palace within your being that's only yours. And then draw it. Create it outwards somewhere in some representation to where you can see your inner world outwards. And then acknowledge the problems you feel in your life and remove them, like put them in little pieces of paper, write down the problems like I was asking you earlier, and have yourself a moment, a ritual where you're communing with Source and you're releasing those things, you're thanking them. You're grateful for the anger, you're grateful for the sorrow, you thank it for the beauty it brought into your life in such a poetic way. But you don't have to live in that. You don't need to be stuck in it. Okay, one last one, just because these cards are beautiful. God, this reading is going to take forever. By the way, this is recorded on June 5th? I think it's June 5th. No, June 6th. Is it June 6th? I don't know. It's a Sunday. But you know how energy works by now. It is timeless, and the space-time continuum is a holographic overlay through the light that is emitted from your being and Source onto the surface through a prism that is your soul. Rewind that and listen to it again. Yo, Lily! Pause in your journey. Again, let go of the old you. These two cards. Pause in your journey and let love grow. This really feels like about someone in your life that you stopped talking to. A journey was paused. A lifetime, a possibility, an epoch was altered and not pursued. But it still can come back to life. So be still and listen to the spirits, for they are guiding you to the panacea of your life, to bring that which was gone back to life by the power of your love and trust and lack of judgment. They begin to fly. It just reminded me, I heard the song from Indiana, Heart on Fire, the acoustic version for Vivo Live. It's like a really unique sounding version of all the other ones they did. And there's this part where she says, "And I begin to fly." And this really looks like that journey. Someone, a physical manifestation of something between two that was supposedly over. But look, 7 and 14 and then 23. So 2 sevens coming together to help to let love grow. And in doing so, the energetic medicine, the panacea, the solution for every problem that is formed, elevates the vibration of the earth itself to where these two people coming together send a ripple, a wave, a breath of life through the world, to where that anchor that was holding you down and the things you thought were keeping you from flying were showing you that you can actually fly and walk at the same time. It was showing you what you're not able to do so that you know that you can do it. Like, this is what it feels like to have the Seven of Wands energy in this area of your life without this person. This is what your life is like without the love of your life in it. This is what your life is like without the love of you for yourself in you. This is the life you've been living, is the way life is when you live with a fear vibration, where everything you see is death and decay. The world is horrible, blah, blah, blah. But what you're not realizing is you're not looking at life with the vibration of love behind everything that's happening. You've been looking at it from a place of fear. And if you change it from fear to love, you realize the solution was the problem all along. Oh, wow. 2 plus 5 is 7. So your energy, being still to listen to the spirits, brings you with your mate together again. The solution is love. Listen to the spirits. Pause in your journey. The solution is the problem. You see? It goes back and forth, regardless of which way I read this to you or in which order I put the cards in. This comes out the strongest, doesn't it? What you are experiencing with your connection with this other person. This isn't about just you anymore. Remember, all those pentacles earlier. This is about you and someone else. Whatever it means to you, however this is applying to you, it is about an energy other than yours being involved in yours. If you can really hear what was said in this reading, what was paused, what was given to the underworld, what was over, is back to life again. It's alive. It's like that Frankenstein thing. It's alive. This kind of reminds me of Galadriel from Lord of the Rings, where she's fighting Sauron and she calls him the Nameless One and asks him to be gone. Do that to the parasites within your energy field. Intend them gone. There's too much love in your life. Those parasites that you were listening to, those negative spirits, they were influencing you away from love so that you could realize what life was like without it. They bound you in place with your own actions, with your own words. You probably have an anklet on your left feet that reminds you of this person. These negative thoughts you've had, you didn't pause in your journey. That's why it's asking you to pause in your journey, to acknowledge that the negative thoughts you were having were leading you astray in some way. They were kind of like making everything look, dark and bad, and they were giving you judgments like, yeah, never do this again with that person. Or like, oh, that's terrible, that's this, that's that category, that's this umbrella. Like, that's their job, to get you to judge and do bad things. It's like the negative Jiminy Cricket. And if you listen to all of them without judgment, to love the darkness, you'd realize they're playing a condescending reverse psychology on you. Yeah, don't talk to that person. Don't ever go back to them again. What do you need them for? Just look at things through that one eye that's been infected with the parasitical view of modern society, and ignore your heart. Let it stone over and become a shadow. Connect with the darkness in you and just leave the light be. What do you need it for? For love. Because in that darkness, where they want you to stay, is where you bloom. But they make it seem scary so that you bloom with fear and negative emotions instead of blooming with love and positive emotions. Dang it. It's such a creepy card. I wanted you to see it, but it's shrouded again. The card is called Hex, and it says, be still and allow the enemy to reveal themselves. And it is of a woman being, I think it's a woman, could be a man, wearing a horned mask. See the lips right there, the chin, and then these horns. I don't know how to get the light properly. It's really weird lighting in here today. The enemy reveals themselves when you pause in your journey and you're still and you listen to the spirits. The word of God, the word of source, the word of you will never tell you to stop loving someone. The enemy will, though. Because when love is divided, the ripple that's sent out throughout reality is one of decay, not of creation. When two people come together, things are created. When two people are split apart, things rot away. And you can tell the enemy by noticing the beings that pushed you away from what was once love, within and without. Wow. Transform the way you see. Transform the way you see. I'm going to tell you this and then I'm closing this video off. And I want to, I shuffled and again, bottom of the deck. Be still and let the enemy reveal themselves. I want you to really, really, really be still. I want you to spend the next 15 minutes right now, after you're done watching this video, to simply allow yourself to be still. And when you hear a thought or a word in your mind, simply allow it to be. Don't think about it. Don't react emotionally to it. Just let your thoughts go. Pretend you're watching a news ticker. Pretend you're alone in the world, and all you're doing is allowing the thought stream to flow by you. Do this for 10 minutes. Let your system reset. Pause in your journey and listen. The reason why I'm really asking you to do this is because source, spirit, your team, your guides, your entire energy. It's almost like it's beckoning for a moment of stillness in your being in a way that you haven't been still before. It's almost as if, and I apologize if this is going to, offend somebody. But this card actually gives me the exact. It's almost as if you've been so ungrounded within the true you and the connection of you, the creative energy of you. You've been in and out, back and forth, here and there, doing this, doing that, thinking this, thinking that. Slow down. Be still. Activate the sexual energy centers, your solar plexus, your sacral, your root chakra. Ignite your body, but don't explode. Be present in the creative energy of your entire being. Let Spirit talk to you when you are completely aware of every inch of your body. Let me put it that way. Be aware of every inch of you again with this feline. Okay. All right. There's a certain bluntness that's required right now because I can feel your energy being so elusive. Oh my God. You need to talk to somebody, and what you're doing is causing so much spiritual debt to be accrued upon your ancestral lineage that you are causing the lowering of the vibration of everyone attached to you, because you refuse to get the weight of the world off your shoulders and the heaviness of what you did or what was done off of your heart, so you can stand upright. You must make peace with your past. Pause in your journey, acknowledge, admit, and allow to yourself to comprehend what you are responsible for. That the other person in your life that is being used as the teacher of this lesson to you is not who you think they are. Remember the other card, let the enemy reveal themselves. The enemy is what you made of them, not who they are. It's like you put that inner child of that other person in the superimposed visage of a demon, when that person is just like you, a being of love. But you're like, hey, I don't wanna, this happened and that happened, and I'm gonna be petty and I'm gonna hold on to this, and then Really? Billions and infinite amounts of existences and realities and forces of creation and all the elements in the world and the universes. And you choose to remain ignorant of how you're being petty. That's this card. That's what this means at its core to me in my readings when I'm doing readings for people. It is a fundamental core issue of you knowing that you're being petty and you're allowing it to continue because it's just beneath you to deal with it. Fuck them. Who cares? Goodness gracious, what is happening? Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna go because don't be this. Do you see how my voice is cracking and straining? I've been drinking water. I have been breathing. It's your energy. I'm working through your energy to get to you, to help show you the energy that I see. This is like a tendril around you, like around your ankle, that keeps yanking you back to where you need to free yourself. And where you need to free yourself is the first two cards that came out 2 hours ago. Parasite and Gilded Regret. The image you have in your mind of someone that you wronged or wronged you or both is a parasite. The way you look at the government is a parasite. The way you, your eyes, your judgment, the way you feel when you think of something, that perception is the parasite, and you're feeding it. So the person could come to you spouting words from God itself, and you would think they're lying, because you would hear them through the mask you've painted for them. Because there's a strain of pettiness in you. It's in everybody. And everybody needs to acknowledge it so they can let it go. Doesn't mean you never get to feel petty again, but it means you're going to know when to feel petty and handle it with grace. Or if you're going to be petty just for petty's sake, you're going to do it with class. And you're going to be the best fucking petty bitch you can be. Because if you're going to do it, you may as well do it right. But something is unfinished in your life and you're not doing it right. You're not even doing the unfinished part right. It's like you buried something and you're like, oh, I'm over it. But then you constantly go and read over old emails. You're like, oh, I'm done with that ex. But then you're like looking at their pictures. Oh, I hate that bitch. She was so blah. But then you're like sniffing her perfume that you bought secretly and you have it in your cabinet and you spray a piece of clothing and you're like, oh, I can smell this. I'm literally seeing this. It's like someone smelling a pink shirt with someone else's perfume on it or cologne and they're like, I miss them so much. Why don't you call them then? What's the matter? You did too much wrong to call them and say, hey, I'm sorry, can we go have coffee? Extend that Ace of Pentacles that the Knight of Pentacles brought to the High Priestess to build the Four of Wands. Doesn't mean you need to marry each other, it just means you can be civil and break bread over the same table. Because the real you, the child that should have been or could have been, would never have let this continue for as long as it's continued for your life. Never. And that's what you're really mad about. You want to change the direction of where your life is going, but you're stuck with the collective that's telling you to go swing in this way. And you're like, I don't want to swing that way. I want to go swing this way. And they're like, no, man, the wave's going this way. So go that way. I'm going this way. I'm following my heart. I'm following who I love and who I feel at home with. Even if that's just me by myself talking to my masculine and feminine side, or to God, or to the trees, or to the flower buds. As long I'm being honest about me. Are you? Because it seems like you're constantly looking at this person from a distance, but you're not coming towards them. But you're gonna. Wow, okay. So in this deck, in the book, it says that when this card is around other cards, it expands those cards like an explosion. So you are sitting there looking at something or someone that you have had past historical interactions with that have caused you to be separated and looking at each other from a distance. The way you look and sit and stare at them is the way they look and sit and stare at you, but one of you is telling the other one's not responding. They're just sitting there in the distance wondering, is this for real? Is this too good to be true? What if this is a joke? What if this is a lie? But again, listen and be aware of the enemy. Let them reveal themselves. Is it the words or the images you're seeing that's the enemy? Or the words in your head and the feelings you're feeling about what you're experiencing? That's the enemy. Remember the cognitive dissonance. There's something inside you that isn't translating things the accurate way because of trauma. Remember the Hierophant with the magician and the hermit. There has been something deeply ingrained within your masculine side of life. You were raised by a very masculine energy, and the female energy you knew behaved in a very masculine way. And you thought that's how female energy is, so you took that energy within yourself and you utilized it in a negative way. Everybody's done it. You're no different, but you're excruciatingly different because you're all unique. And what you're doing is being mirrored back to you by what they're doing, except they're giving you the light and you're giving them back the dark. dark being, silence, emptiness, stillness, nothing, distance, transition, fading, being recreated. It's like you ghosted someone, but all you want to do is lay on their arms and feel their heartbeat next to yours. So dumb. It's so dumb. Why do you guys do this to each other? Why? How? I'm not sorry. Because if you're looking at love in life and you're judging it in terms of worthiness or accomplishments or mistakes, you don't deserve love. If you're judging and unforgiving and critical of someone else's behavior while you pretend yours is okay, that's not okay. Look, the meddler, the interferer, the interloper, the masculine energy in your life that is constantly sabotaging you to keep you in its control, because masculine energy without feminine energy dominates, sabotages, creates pettiness, creates war, creates strife and lies and delusions, paints everything in a really eerie, ugly light to get you to go away from that which is what's meant for you. Happiness, freedom, self-expression, authenticity, true healing from within, connection with all the beings around you and yourself, and your inner child. Oh, where'd the other one go? Look. Inner child, elder version, the version of you that wants to make an offer to someone to unite with them. Every part of you is supporting you becoming a better version of you and expressing some heartfelt communication to someone you're truly connected to. This could be you just looking at yourself in the mirror and talking to yourself, but considering the unity card and 2 cards pointing at communication or at the throat, and then this douchebaggery, it's showing me that it's about someone else in your life. And what I'm seeing right now, I'm seeing one of those old rotary phones, like someone's picking up the phone and they're dialing the number, and they're like dialing one number, waiting for the thing to turn, dialing, waiting for the thing to turn, and by the third number they're like, oh, should I continue? Oh, sorry. Should I continue? Should I, call them? Should I? Maybe I shouldn't. But I could. What if it goes this way, or that way, or this way? Do you know what that energy is when you feel that? That's that. When you feel that, it doesn't mean act upon it. It means realize that it's that. That's the enemy revealing themselves to you. So when you feel that energy that says, oh no, oh this, oh that, they did this, they did that, go the other way. Do exactly what this is telling you not to. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to say this real quick because I'm fairly certain the video is going to cut soon. Somebody's going to get a marriage proposal. Congratulations, your marriage is going to last a very, 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 very long time, and you will have lots of happy children. Whether they're your physical children, adopted, or fur babies, you will have at least 3, if not 4. Your mother, your grandmother, your sisters are all healthy. Stop worrying about them. The father figures in your life will be much better when you harmonize your feminine side. And when you allow yourself to be more feminine in your behavior and allow yourself to feel more safe with your masculine side, a true transformation will occur within you. When you forgive your mother, for not being there for you the way you needed her to be. But the way she was there for you trained you to be exactly who you are now. So thank you. Within the next few days, if you take this opportunity and reunite with this person, I'm giving this from what I see 11, 11 on complementary sides of each other with the bright mother in between. So 11, 11, 5, 1, 4. Maybe that has something to do, like importance to someone. Another 4 and another 7, which goes to an 11 again. So maybe by June 11th or the 11th of the month, or by 11 p.m. tonight, or by tomorrow, something to do with 11/11, whatever that means to you. Oh, this is also a 7, the bright mother. 7, 11, and if you follow this thread of honesty within you and communicate, no matter how dark you think things are, or how things are going to go, if you communicate first with yourself, then with the reason why you had to communicate with yourself. The timeline that you create, the way, the ripple you send into reality, the way that things uplift will be in a way that it affects more people than you can comprehend. Wherever the light of the sun will go, it will carry the lessons of your transformation to affect all forms of life. You are not just living your life for yourself, you are living your life for the source of all creation to experience itself through your perception. So stop judging God, because everyone is God and all of life is God experiencing itself. Even the horrible people that do horrible, horrible things, they are God as well. You can't teach them, you can't guide them, you can't lead them. You have to be better. Your vibration has to elevate so that the vibration of the world they live in isn't dark anymore, where their choices aren't dark anymore. Their choices evolve in density to be different choices. A ritual abuse could be a ritual wedding, depending on what wavelength the ritual is experienced at. A birthday party could be a funeral, depending on which wavelength you're riding. It's all density, all of it. The air, the water, the earth, and fire. It is all different fluctuations of density. It is not solid and this and that. No, it's the same thing, vibrating at a different wavelength that's being translated by your eyes. These are your eyes. The light goes into your eyes and is being translated. Where the light is coming from is your auric shell, which is all around here, around you. So everything you're seeing is you. But whenever you change the fluid within this auric field of you, due to the lessons you learned, and you look at that pearl that was stuck in your heart and you let it out for the person's inner child to hear it, the truth that you carry, the maiden mother crone moon, again, the new moon, within the next month, even earlier than that. I mean, really, part of me wants to say if you follow this, you can create this within the next 11 minutes. You just pick up the phone and have a conversation with someone. Like, this looks like someone picking up the phone and talking on the phone. Looks like someone talking on their phone, like looking at a device, communicating. Looking at a device, communicating. You know, the Palantir, the crystal ball. Two people communicating with each other through space and time. And then moving forward together on a journey of transformation that affects the whole world, the whole universe, the whole everything, all the universes. And everyone's watching. Everyone. Everyone is watching for that light within you. Remember in the first few minutes of that reading, I was telling you about some feeling in the heart. There was some hidden thing. There was a connection that you weren't translating properly. Someone you wanted to connect with that you were disconnected from. An aspect of yourself or someone else. When you connect that light, when you see it in its human form, and then it illuminates, every ripple throughout all of the timelines in the future, past and present, get transformed to where all the suffering you went through will never happen again. Because someone somewhere, some aspect of Source, learned that lesson and moved on from it. Which means Source doesn't want to experience that either. So when the next person even gets close to that situation, all of Spirit has the divine permission and will and allowance to steer that person away from that experience into better experiences, because that singular experience has already been accomplished and other people don't need to suffer the same way to learn the same lesson. It's already done. So their experiences would be different, have a different story applicable for them. So then you can say, I can relate to your pain. I can comprehend what you've been through. It wasn't exactly what I went through because I experienced what I went through for myself and for Source and all involved for the highest good. So what you're experiencing is your version of reality with your perceptions for your greatest and highest good of all the people you're involved with. And together we create a tapestry of the universe, of multiverses. But if you're not acknowledging that you also paint with colors that are dark, then the colors that I paint with and rejoin with will seem absolutely strange to you, because the enemy that hasn't revealed itself to you yet is within you. And it's obviously obvious, because it's the part of you that keeps you away from feeling like you're connected to your sense of home. You know that feeling of home I'm talking about. I just cut this and how long can you stay at the Nine of Pentacles? Your entire life, right? You can keep that 10th pentacle away as much as you want, as long as you want, even in other lifetimes. Wow! Again. Okay. All that needs to be said has been said. Take a deep breath. Ground the energy. Whatever's for you will be for you. Whatever's not for you will be not for you. And it will be away from you. Trust that. Go drink some water and take some time, a few minutes, and just let this integrate within you. Let your mind think, or let your mind be while you feel at peace. And I can't tell you how to live your life in a kind of, doing it for you way. I can tell you what I would do. I can tell you what the cards say. I can tell you what Spirit says. But the advice I'd like to give you personally, forgive yourself. I know that sounds cheesy, but just entertain the idea. Every moment that you waste without that person is a memory that could have been. Every moment where you're holding a grudge against someone is a moment you could have laughed with them. Every moment you feel that you were wronged is a moment where you can feel that you are blessed. Make better choices in that area of your life. I just noticed this card on the floor, Iris of the Rainbow. Whatever storms are in your life, the simplest truth is enough to clear the skies. And the simplest truth is you are in love. I can't dance around this any other way. You're in love with someone and you know what you've done, you know what they've done, and you know how tired and boring those excuses are now. It's almost like you've made so many excuses to avoid this person that you're becoming aware of the habit of avoiding this person. And also, again, remember, I'm translating energy for you and being the in-between spirit for you and reading your energy. So, this energy that I'm picking up on as someone else could be a really unfamiliar part of yourself that's just within you, and that this aspect of you is so foreign to you that it's like an alien living on Earth that you haven't been aware of, that you're like, oh no, that's just the devil, the dark side of me, or the dark side of the world. That's the world's shadow. But it's yours. The world is in your auric field. It's in your reality. When you step outside your front door and you go somewhere, you're still in your own field. What you're seeing isn't what's there. What you're seeing is still within your field. You can ask somebody, hey, is there a building there? And they can take a picture of it and they can scan it and invert it and whatever. But it's still being translated through your eyes, no matter how many ways they try to make it accurate. So I can be perceiving this energy as your ex-lover or your future partner or your boss or the mailman. But to you, you know there's a thread that connects it directly to you and your habits, your behavior and your thought pattern. And that behavior, thought pattern, and habits is reflected out in your world through other people. So not only is it to do with someone in your life that you've had interactions with, it's also to do with you and yourself, in addition to you and your aura and energy field and your different bodies, your etheric, your pain body, your emotional body, your astral body, your temporal, blah blah blah, all of them. So be aware of yourself and the kindness that is in you, and then allow the enemy to reveal itself by what is contradicting kindness. And then when you realize what's contradicting kindness and what kindness is, take it a step further and realize that both kindness and stupidity and ignorance belong to the same body, consciousness, being. Two arms, same being. So what this pinky did to this pinky was done by the same person. What's important is that you finally allow yourself to see the other person for who they are, instead of who you think they are. Who was that ex you were with, really? Without the pain, without the fighting, without the cheating, without the lying, without the money issues, without the family issues, without the, alcohol, drug issues, without the illnesses through different foods and genetically modified things you've eaten, or the gossip and rumors and baggage and past and trauma. Without all that, who was that person you were in love with? Really? Were they really all the culmination of the entire mess of their life story? Or was it somebody working through that life story and you just couldn't, you didn't know what to do? You didn't know how to handle it? until you went through your life story. And now you realize they were going through their life story, you were going through your life story, to find each other and what your story is, so that you can let it go and be who you are to each other. It's like the angel making peace with the devil because it realizes the devil is just the aspect of itself that it blocked away a long time ago. It was the spicy part of you, the feisty, fiery part of you, the sexual, seductive, passionate, pleasurable, addictive, escapist, narcissistic side of you that made you take better care of yourself because you knew what you were worth. Priceless. You belong to paradise. And when you block that part of yourself off and you pretend to be nothing, do you really think that the side of you that knows you're everything is going to coddle you out of it? It'll destroy your world like a lightning bolt to get you to realize that you're so much better than even this world you're in. You're worth more than this entire planet and this entire universe. You are worth more. So quit being petty to yourself. Quit being petty to the people around you. And be a more dignified version of yourself, like that King of Pentacles card. Well, the king that has learned from the magician, the emperor, the hierophant, and the hermit, the high priestess, and all of that. Alright, I'm gonna go. May this have served you for your highest and greatest good for your perceived human life as well as your spiritual evolution. I know this reading has been long and the previous reading has been long, and there's another one I recorded on June 2nd for an energy forecast, but I haven't had the feeling of that it's okay to post it yet. So I'm going to post that one as soon as I get the intuitory, go ahead. Alright, I'm gonna go, and I love you, I love you, I love you, and please, 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 you don't know how much time you have with people in your life. There are things we readers, most of us, see that we can't really get into all the details. This is not to frighten you. But there are so many things that we see in these stories that are being brought to us by spirit. You see how long it takes to get through the messages. So I'm asking you to stop watching a lot of videos, to be at peace for just a day or two. Let the messages come to you from within. Don't look outside for messages anymore. Like, give it a few days, give it 3 days or so. Let the messages come from within and live your life for just a few days as if your time on the computer is a hobby that you do to play a video game, to write something, to create something, to, just check your email, or to research something. Put Facebook aside, put Instagram aside, put all those apps aside. Put YouTube aside, give it a day, and just let yourself